guys, it's K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an excellent day today. It is another green day for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as we eagerly await the start of the week. Now, we do have a very small CME futures gap that may have to get filled, but the bigger question on everybody's mind is, was that the dip? Is Bitcoin finally headed to new highs? Well, I do want to talk about a few things. Number one, I want to talk about stable coins on exchanges and how they haven't done something since November. And the last time that happened, it was quite bullish for Bitcoin. Also, historically speaking, April has been an extremely bullish month for Bitcoin. So are we about to follow in the same footsteps as the previous months of April? Well, that is something I do want to mention, and I'm going to tell you why. I do think April is going to be a massive month for Bitcoin. We'll talk about the short-term price action. We do have some resistance. Bitcoin still technically hasn't put in a higher high, so we do need to get above those levels. But I also want to mention big news for U.S. Bitcoin hodlers. It has to do with the city of Miami as well as Bitcoin mining. So if all that sounds good to you, we're going to make a short video today, wrap it up, a little bit of news to talk about. So thank you so much for coming back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day, and let's dive in and have a look. And of course, if you are not subscribed, well, definitely consider it. We make these videos for the most part every day. Now, we did have this beautiful bounce off of the 50, and you can see that the 50 has provided a lot of support. I have a lot of drawings on here. Let me get rid of that. You guys can see, right? It keeps bouncing off these lines. Essentially, this moving average is pretty much a consistent bounce for Bitcoin. But one thing that we do notice is over on CME futures, we have been in this sort of descending channel, right? So we really need to break out of it, because if we open tomorrow, we're literally pretty much sitting on the resistance, and what we don't want is for the Bitcoin price to dump. Now, the one thing I do want to point out is that we did have CME futures close at $54,095. I don't think it would be out of the cards to see Bitcoin go down to retest that level. It may even want to come down here and reshoot this $53,000 level. So, if we have a little bit of a dip on Monday, it's okay. I still think we're going to be looking for a massive move to the upside. We are, in fact, having that resistance at our heart line that I've talked about a lot on this channel perfectly right here. You can see we had a beautiful bounce off this blue box territory. Now, I am looking at this giant blue zone for the next move for Bitcoin to the upside, and that's really anywhere between 58,000 all the way up to about 65,000. Now, 65,000 almost exactly on the nose is a very important level for Bitcoin, because as you can see right here, we actually have this resistance from the two peaks as well as the bottom of the ascending wedge literally intersecting right here. So that is going to be a very important level for Bitcoin to try to get above. Now, keep in mind, we could, bounce around in this area, maybe even to Thursday, Friday of next week, but I do have my eyes set on 64,000. And if we do break that, the next level is well upwards to potentially $80,000 for Bitcoin. And I think it's very possible that we could get up to that level, maybe even within the next 2 weeks. Now, here's the crazy thing, and I know we still have a few days left of this month before it closes, but everybody that was getting bearish and everyone that was worried about what's going on with Bitcoin, I mean, have a look at these monthly candles: October, November, December, January, February, and now March. I would say that unless something absolutely catastrophic happens in the next few days, we are going to be closing a bullish green month. And for people that worry about, the wicks to the downside, don't forget, when you have this, high wicks that sell all the way down, right here, we have this big wick right here. We have this big wick right here. That's often considered, a little bit bearish, right? That means there's a lot of selling pressure. Kind of like back here in March when we had this, we had a lot of buying pressure, right? And that marked the bottom of the dip before we went up to the top. But the interesting thing is, you'll notice that even though technically you would say this is a bearish, bullish candle, we've still put in higher highs and higher lows on the macro. And that is the most important chart to be looking at. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a beautiful trend, and you already know what I'm going to say about the trend, don't you? Well, having a look historically, you can see that March actually has been historically a red month. And although we were not happy with how the end of March ended, if we do go back here, you could see that we actually put in a monthly, well, so far, we're up about 24%. So like I said, as long as in the next few days we don't have some catastrophic black swan event, we're going to be closing this as a green candle, as a green month. And you can see here, historically, April has only had 2 red months compared to the average of green with, an average price, just by eyeballing this, somewhere between 20% and 30% gains for the month of April. So obviously we still need to close this month, but just looking at, historical levels, if we were to go from the level that we're at right now, if we were to move another 20%, let's say 25%, we'll take the middle, that is about a $70,000 Bitcoin, right? So it does look like the trend is going to continue to the upside. And as long as we stay within this rising wedge, everything looks great. We're putting in higher highs. We're putting in higher lows. And it could be possible, we come down here, CME futures gap. But ultimately, I do think we minimally come back up to the top and retest this. So I would be looking to potentially, like if you have a long open right now, if you are trading, 64,000, maybe you might want to just, close some percentage, take some of that gains, right? And if you guys have no idea how to do this, check out my tutorial on Bybit. You do have $200 extra in bonuses on top of the bonuses that are already $600. So that's $800 in bonuses if you use the link below. Also check out the tutorial popping up above. But you can see right here, talking about stable coins, according to CryptoZombie, he points out that the all-exchange stablecoin ratio has reached lows not seen since November. Each time this ratio has gone so low, it has marked periods of significant strength for Bitcoin. The significant reduction in on-exchange stablecoin supply for Bitcoin, you can't ignore it, right? And, think about it. So you have the quarter ending, the hedge funds are closing their positions, like Sir Jin says, March ends, tax month in the US, stablecoin low, ETF is probably going to come, bullish April. So April is definitely looking to be the month. In fact, we have veteran trader and guru Peter Brandt, right? He's been around. He's an elderly fella. He's seen some charts in his days, and he says he's been absolutely blown away by the way that Bitcoin has acted. In fact, he's seeing another 260% minimum from its current price right now. He says, I think that we're in the midpoint where in 2017, Bitcoin swirled around for a month or two before we saw that final move up. And you'll note that the midpoint in 2015 to 2017's bull market was at about 1/2 or 60% of the total move. So if that's true, that points to price levels upwards of around, he says, $200,000, which is where he does see Bitcoin potentially topping out. Now, we've heard a lot higher projections for this year. We could have a blow-off top up to like 600K before then like crashing 50% or something like that. That is possible. But he goes on to say, if somebody would have told me that there would have been a market during my lifetime that would not only experience a parabolic advance, but experience 4 parabolic advances, not on a regular scale, but on a log scale chart, he said, I would have bet my life against it. This is just unbelievable. People get caught up in the daily motion, the daily prices of Bitcoin, but at the end of the day, you need to look at the bigger picture. To have 4 parabolic advances on a log scale in the course of 10 years is literally unheard of. He said, I would challenge anybody to find a price chart of any asset or any commodity that has gone through this. So we're really witnessing history. This is history in the making. You and I and everyone, we're all a part of this. Congratulations. Smash the likes, guys. If you are here this early, people think they're late to the party. You're not, trust me. There are so many people that still are sitting on the sidelines and hesitant and have not dip their toes in the water of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And he goes on to say, as a trader, it's just unbelievable that I can participate in a market that is going through a situation like this. This is just spectacular. This is a spectacular ride, and everybody that's involved in Bitcoin can know that they are really taking part in history. And I know you've probably seen this clip by now. Shout out to Bitcoin Disciple, BTC Disciple. He actually has some really great clips that he posts. And this is from an interview with Laura Shin. And she essentially asked Michael Saylor, are you going to be looking to take some money off the table? Don't you think it's going to be a bubble? And this is his answer. I thought it was really funny.
And right now, the price is about 33,000. So you've more than doubled your investment. And most likely by the end of the year, we're probably going to be in some kind of bubble, I imagine. So the return will be even higher. And you've said that you didn't buy the Bitcoin to sell it. But would MicroStrategy ever take some off the table when you sense the market is at a top and then just buy in later when there's another correction? Or do you just plan to hodl through all the cycles, and weather those, whatever 80% downturns when the crypto markets are in a bear market?
Yeah, again, I just disagree with your characterization. I don't expect an 80% downturn. I don't think it's a speculative asset, and I don't think you can quote unquote take money off the table. You're speaking like a crypto trader right now, right? Yeah, I mean, maybe you're doing it just to represent their interest, but I don't see the world that way. I think that Bitcoin is sound money. It's the technically superior asset class compared to the dollar, the euro, the peso, the bolivar, compared to a stock index, compared to gold, compared to silver, compared to everything you can conceivably buy. It is technically, thermodynamically superior as an asset. So when you say things like that to me, and maybe you just do it just to see what I'll say back, I just imagine you preaching to me in Argentina while you're asking me if I'm going to sell the dollars and buy pesos back again as the peso sleeps from 20 to the dollar to 40 to the dollar to 80 to the dollar. Or if we're in, Venezuela. I mean, you think a Venezuelan company is going to quote unquote take some money off the table by selling their US stocks and their US dollars to buy back into local currencies? Or then, in Zimbabwe, you think they would take money off the table, right? The point is, if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever, Laura. Forever.
Right.
Now, look, I get what he's saying, and you might hear these Bitcoin maximalists, etc., saying, why would you ever want to sell your Bitcoin? And I understand that. But we do also have our strategies. Now, I've made it very clear on this channel, I am not looking to accumulate more dollars. I'm looking to accumulate more Bitcoin. So we are, going to try to get as much Bitcoin as we possibly can. So if I do personally feel that Bitcoin has topped out at a certain point, I will most likely, and this is probably the worst thing to say, maybe short, bet against it, or sell some. But here's the thing. It's so that I can ultimately accumulate more Bitcoin for the long run. Not everybody has millions and millions of dollars like Michael Saylor, right? But at the end of the day, I do still agree with him. And yes, the end goal is to hold more Bitcoin. I could care less about dollars, right? It's really about the Bitcoin, because the Bitcoin is the true hedge against inflation. Also, speaking about Laura Shin, if you haven't seen this, she did an interview with the mayor of Miami. And it's interesting because you've seen Miami get very, very interested in Bitcoin. They've even discussed potentially having their own Bitcoin mining operations. But she did bring up the question, considering that Bitcoin has all this stigma around it of being really bad for the environment with mining, etc. How would they deal with this? And I actually really liked his answer. I did retweet this on my Twitter, but I wanted to play it for you guys now as well.
There's been a lot of controversy recently about the environmental impact of proof of work mining, which is what's used by Bitcoin. And Miami will be probably one of the cities hardest hit by climate change. So how do you reconcile your interest in Bitcoin, as well as its potential impact in the environment, against your love for Miami and your interest in mitigating the effects of climate change there?
Extremely easy. Extremely easy to reconcile those two things, because a part of the problem with Bitcoin mining is 90% of it is not done in the United States. 90% of it is done in countries that have dirty energy. So that's the reason why it's considered to be a dirty activity. But for example, in Miami, we would love to be a mining hub for national security reasons. We don't think 90% of mining should be outside of the U.S. And B, we get nuclear power. So we have clean energy, a clean energy supply that's essentially unlimited. And so we have the ability to supply mining centers and data centers in perpetuity with clean energy. So it actually would be to the benefit of the crypto community if we did more mining in the U.S., because we, by and large, produce clean energy. So that it would change that narrative and that dynamic. And I also think in the future you're going to see, solar and other kinds of clean technology, hydrogen, as technology that propels mining, as well as you're going to see mining happening in different forms. They're going to be bigger hash blocks. They're going to be more efficient in terms of authentication changes, in terms of how Bitcoin and other transactions on the blockchain are authenticated. That's going to reform. So I think technology is going to make it more efficient, less expensive, and less power consuming.
And finally, guys, if you haven't seen the sketch on Saturday Night Live for NFTs, it's pretty funny. I'm not going to ruin it for you. I'm also not going to play it right now because I will get a copyright strike because it's clearly from NBC. But that being said, definitely check that out. And that is it for me, guys. So it is the weekend. Keep in mind, it could get a little bit crazy leading into Monday. We know we do have a little bit of a CME futures gap at around 54,000, but I do believe that we are going to be having an incredible April coming up. We've seen the end of Q1. We had our options expire. That was the big problem, right, that we were all worried about, and we held very nicely above 50,000. It looks from what I could see that we are going to be putting in a, where is it right here? A monthly green candle unless something catastrophic happens. So as I could see right here, the trend continues to be our friend. We're putting in higher highs and higher lows. That's the only thing that's important to me right now. And that is it. So thank you so much for coming back to the channel. If you haven't checked out the free Telegram group, absolutely free. We hang out, we talk crypto all day. Check that below in the description. And yeah, guys, that's it for me. So I hope you're having a great weekend. I will see you tomorrow for the craziness that always is every single start of the week. And if you haven't seen these videos popping up right here, right now, check them out. And until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.